Hey, what's up, my true tellers? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Unapologetic Content. So let me see, making sure that everything is great. I see Chakra King Black is in the house saying peace queen. Hey guys, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for coming in, making sure that the sound is good. Making sure the sound is good. So, guys, welcome, welcome to Unapologetic Real Talk. As you can see right here, we're gonna go and see if I can. Well, at least I'm gonna try to see if I can go ahead and do a review of Love and Marriage and Huntsville right here, season 10, episode 6. Martell mean no lies. So that's what the topic is. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that. I found that it was very interesting. I watched it this morning and I'm not going to tell you no lie, I really enjoyed this. So that's the reason why I went ahead and I came on. So before I get in, guys, if you're just coming in, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share the videos for more unapologetic content. Come on and share this live, guys, so we can go ahead and get the support. I promise you it's not going to hurt. So let me make sure that I can hear myself real good. I hope my live is not too loud. So I hope it's not too loud. So guys, come on and show the support and hit the like, comment, and share these video for more unapologetic content. So this right here, guys, is season 10, episode 6 that we're gonna go ahead and talk about. But before I get into all that right there, guys, I want to go ahead and talk about, I saw where they went ahead and let me post this right here. Went ahead and dropped Shilo Sanders. No, that's Shilo. Yeah, Shilo. Hold on one second. Dang, man, every time I come on, something always happens. Hold on one second. Let me see. Now, I know I went ahead. I had no problems. Hold on one second, guys. I want to go ahead and show you this right here. Well, maybe if I drop this right here and then show this, I might be able to and add this. Okay, now I got it. Sometimes you have to chew and walk at the same time. So I want to go ahead and talk about this right quick before I get into Love and Marriage in Huntsville, because I saw this right here on the shared room. So let me make sure that everything is great, making sure that the sound and everything is good, because I don't see, anyone in here is giving me the thumbs up and telling me that my sound is good, but it's all good in the neighborhood, okay? But I want to share this right here before I get into Love and Marriage in Huntsville. I saw on the Shed Room where Shilo Sanders, his agent had told ESPN that his team, the Buccaneers, went ahead and they dropped him, say letting him go a day after an field altercation. And I remember this morning when I went ahead and I told my husband, because he's a football fan, he watches all that, but he was in church because when they went ahead and released that information, it was like 2 hours ago. That's how long it was. But I mean, gosh, man, I was just devastated, and I see where his dad went ahead and post trust God. And it's just so sad, but we know exactly what that's all about. It is, when you can't get the one that you want, you go after the children. That is just wrong, guys. I promise you that is just wrong. Where it says right here, the Shed Room is being talking about Shilo Sanders is being let go from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a day after he was involved in an field altercation that got him ejected from the game. And I'm going to show you that play because I promise you, he was doing everything that he was supposed to do. It was the other team went and pulled his helmet. So I want you guys to go ahead and see it. And I was talking to my husband when I saw the way that the play was. Sometimes they plant people to try to throw you off your game, and that's exactly what it looks like. So I want you guys to see it for yourself, where it says in being let go from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a day after he was involved in a field altercation that got him ejected from the game. The NFL team are currently cutting their roster down to 53 players. Before Tuesday, Shiloh was chosen as one to lead from the Bay Buccaneers. So let me see if you guys can see the play. Okay, this is horrible, guys. It's not letting me show it. Oh my God, I thought it was gonna let me show it, but for some reason it's not letting me show it. But you can see if you go on the Shed Room, you're gonna be able to see where when the quarterback went ahead and threw him the ball, the guy went up to him, and I'm talking about Shallow, and grabbed his hammock. And so that's how that altercation had started. But the guy was sitting there trying to break this guy's neck. Make it make sense. It's just so much, guys. So much stuff is going on. So much stuff is going on, and that's why I said, we have to be harmless, harmless as a dove, and wise as a snake, because this was, I mean, this was so wrong, guys. I'm not going to go ahead and tell you no lie to go and cut him. We already know when it came to him and his brother, how they went ahead and gave them a hard time just to get them on the NFL, and all of a sudden now you want to find some type of excuse to go and get this child off. And we already know what that's all about. We already know what that's all about. But, whatever the devil meant for bad, we know that God can turn it for our good. Okay. So, guys, come on in the house, because I want to go ahead and talk about this right here, which I had said, when it comes to love and marriage in Huntsville, I was going to talk about it, but it was, I have to make sure that when I talk about it, it was something worthy to talk about, which all this stuff, everything that I had talked about, I need to just go ahead and just pat myself on the back. Yes, I said it. Okay. I need to pat myself on the back because most of everything that I said, it went ahead and it played out. Okay. Down to the T. And yes, I'm going to say down to the T. Okay. I knew that once, they come back, I knew when Martell had said that you either going to tell my real life, tell the real stuff that is going on, or just go ahead and fire me. And for some reason, guys, when I say something, You can take it to the bank. Hold on one second. Let me make sure that my sound is great. So I wanted to make sure that my sound is great. And guys, if y'all coming in and catch the replay, make sure you go ahead and share the live so we can go ahead and get more support in here, okay? Because it doesn't make no sense for me coming in here and talking to myself. I might as well just go ahead and stay on TikTok, okay? But like I say, this is what I like to do. But also when it comes to YouTube, like I said, YouTube, they don't want you to just talk to the walls, okay? They want to make sure that you get the support because when I look at my analytics, trust me, my numbers are way, way down, okay? Maybe it could be me, because I know I'm not banned, I'm not shadow banned. It could be me because, one minute I'm talking about this, the next minute I'm talking about something else. But I can't stay in the box, I just got to talk about things that, I'm very, very passionate about. So let me go ahead and change the subject because, and get back to Love and Marriage in Huntsville. I mean, season 10. Wow. I mean, time sure passed by. I think it's season 10. Let me see if it's season 10 or I got that wrong. I think it's season 10. Hold on one second. Let me do a check to see if it's season 10 because if not, time sure passed fast. But everything that I said, guys, everything that I went ahead and I called, it played out. It played out. If you go and you watch all of the lives, the videos, unedited, uncut, that I went ahead and put out, it happened the same way. So that's why I sit there and say, when it comes to Call is King, look, dude, you need to go ahead and put me on the books, man, because I called this out to the T, and I'm finna call some more stuff out to the T. And I promise you, what you're gonna sit there and say, oh, I remember when Lady D had said that. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna give me no credit, but that's all right. That's all right. So let me see what season that I am. Oh gosh, yeah, season 10. This right here is season 10. Time sure passed, man. Time passed fast. So as you can see right here, I'm not gonna go in order, but I did see. Let me see if I can go ahead and play this right here. I'm not gonna play any sounds, but I'm gonna just go ahead and play it. I see Nell Fletcher, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that Nell is meeting up with Tisha because I want to get to the meat. I want to get to the stuff that, like I said, been long overdue, stuff that needed to be talked about. But I see where Nell and Tisha, they're going to meet up with each other at a little restaurant. And I just hope when they do those restaurants, come on, Carlos King, and even the cast, because I think that Carlos King just put the ball in their hands and just let them go ahead and they work it out. And I guess once they present all the tapes to them, the producers, that's when, they give them the red light. So I guess when it comes to the picking of the restaurants and the places that they go to, I think it's the cast that the ones that pick that, those restaurants. But come on, I'm all about Black One. I'm all about, not Black One, B1. I'm all about B1. Let me go ahead and say it like that, Black One, but B1. I'm all about supporting our people. And I notice, especially when it comes to this Black ensemble cast, and it's not just Love and Marriage in Huntsville, it's also other Black reality shows where they don't support Black businesses. I'm all about supporting Black businesses, especially when this is the all Black cast. And I noticed that every last, since, the beginning, I haven't seen it always be other establishments. It's never be B1 first. Now I did see, I think it was last year, I saw Melody had went to it was a little place where she went where they sell popcorns. Her and the Chris Fletcher was over there. Okay, so Nell and Tisha, they met at a restaurant and they talking about some things which I really didn't get too much in it because I think that when it comes to Nell, I think she dropped the ball just like I had said last time because Nell, she could have gotten a spinoff. She got enough drama that is going on in her personal life with her family than to always talk about somebody else. But I do understand when it came to Tisha, when the way that Tisha feels when it comes to the Fletchers, especially when it comes to Nell, because we already know Nell, she rode very, very hard for Melody, even though Melody didn't even ride hard for her, but she was on that bandwagon. And when Mel called her out, it's like she just go in the corner and just cry. Okay, so they met up with each other, and Mel, I guess she's talking about how she went ahead and she checked Tisha when Tisha was all in Chris' face, so she called it out, which, like I said, hey, each his own, but we already know when it came to Marcel had pretty much when Tisha came, and confronted Chris, he called her out, and made her, back off from that. Okay, so that's pretty much about that. And I think also, hold on one second, guys. I done dropped my phone. And I think after this right here, I'll probably just go ahead and just make some. I might make some lives. I'm not lives. I might make some pre-records instead of coming live. Okay, because it does not make no sense for me coming live and I'm not getting the support that I need. Okay, because it's kind of hard when you're talking to yourself. Okay, so even though I came at the last minute, but still of all, I don't have the support that I need when it comes on this platform right here. Which, like I said, ain't nobody mad but the devil, okay? Because, they don't like to hear truth. But, like I said there and say I'm a truth teller, okay? And I'm not going to dummy myself down. And if you think that I'm going to act a plumb fool and act buffoonery and coonery just to give you some reviews and recaps, you got to be crazy, okay? You got to be out of your mind because you're definitely not going to get it over here. And that's real talk. So if you think that, hey, oh, this boring, okay, but you like buffoonery, then that's something on you, okay? Because you're not going to get it over here. That's why, I try to stay right there in my little corner in my lane, okay? I don't jump from channel to channel because why would I do? It doesn't pay, okay? So, if people likes to hear drama, oh, honey, trust me, they'll run for drama. But when it's time for people, to be a truth teller to tell you exactly what's going on, oh no, people don't want to hear that. But like I said, honey, I'm gonna stand on my truth, whether people like it or not. Okay, and that's real talk. So let me see where I'm at. Like I said, when it comes to all this right here, I saw where Destiny had talked to Nell's son, which I'm not going to talk about that either. And the reason why I'm not going to talk about that because all that right there that is relevant. I think the reason why they put them two together so they could have something to talk about. But when it comes to what I really want to go ahead and talk about, um, I really want to go ahead and talk about Martell. And that's exactly what I want to go ahead and talk about. I'm glad that when it comes to Martell, I'm glad that he's getting out of what all the while he's been holding on, and we already know that he held on a lot of stuff. And just like it was said that when it comes to Martell, he was like a villain. They made him out a villain, and the reason why they made him out a villain because a lot of people was very upset the way that things had played out when it came to him and Melody. But like I said, now especially when it came to Kimmy, I was listening to Kimmy how when it comes to Martell was more of the peacemaker, especially in the group where he felt some type of way, especially when he used to see all of them coming together. Just say like if they come into each other house as couples, and how uh Martell used to feel some type of way when he saw, the other ladies, how they used to cater to their husband, bring the plates. I remember when he did talked about that, when Kimmy was serving Maurice, And he was saying in so many words that, oh, you serving Maurice, I don't get that pretty much, and it's not his word verbatim, but he was saying that I don't get that, I don't get that at home. So um Kimmy, she brought out and she said that he used to feel some type of way because he went all out when it came to his marriage, besides the infidelity. But he treated his wife pretty much like a queen. Even Melody even said that that he treated her like a queen. And the way that he knew that the Scots brothers used to treat their wives, and how the brothers used to do their wives, didn't really deserve that, didn't deserve their wives catering to them, and it made him feel type of way. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna find that clip where you guys can see when he talked about that. I remember, I think that he was at Kimmy's house when he talked about all that right there. But all this right here, what you about to see, as you see right here, a tsunami in Huntsville. And guys, I had called that out. I called it out from day one. I knew that tsunami was going to come, but I thought that Melody was going to at least ride it out. Even though I knew that she was going, you can go watch all of the lives that I did make. That I did say that once Ariane come through that door, Melody was going to end up handing this entire show in and put it in her laps, and that's exactly what it is. But I also think that the reason why, when it came to Melody, maybe she don't want to film with any of her cast, but also when it came to Melody, Marcel, and Tisha, it's like they went ahead and they formed some type of alliance, because you remember last season that Marcel and Tisha, they looked like they were siding more to Melody, but things didn't work out because Martell, he wanted to tell his story like he told Carlos King. Either you're going to go ahead and you're going to tell, my story, or you're just going to go ahead and fire me. So I said that if Ariane do come on, Ariane was not going to come on to attack Melody. So a lot of people are saying, if Ariane come on, that's not going to be fair, because why would she be in the same space that Ariane is going to be? But like I said, Melody was not cutting those checks. Even though they might have pitched this show, but they wasn't cutting those checks. This checks was being cut by OWN. But I did went back and I said, and you guys that some of you guys that watches my live know exactly what I'm saying. That if Ariane do come on, she was going after the Scots. That's exactly what I said. I said if Ariane do come on the show, they was not going to let Ariane go at Melody, not just yet, because she's still getting one foot in that door. That's the reason why you're seeing that it's like pulling tooth when Martell talks about Ariane. Ariane most likely, and I'm gonna say legend. All this right here is a legend. To me, all this right here is for entertainment purpose only. But like I said, when it comes to this particular show called Love and Marriage in Huntsville, we all can take a piece out of it. But I truly believe that when Ariane come in, and I also believe that the way that they was harassing and doxing and stalking this girl, I truly believe, even though Ariane was not on that show, but they were still cutting her a check. Now I don't know how much check she was cutting, but I truly believe that Ariane was getting paid. Okay, even though she was not on that show, she still was getting paid. Okay, but how they going to bring Ariane on? And I promise you guys, like I said, I know I said it. I need to start playing back some of the stuff that I said, but they're going to bring Ariane on this show, just like I said, and that's to go after the Scots. And I like what Martell has said. Martell has said all the stuff when, and I might be going ahead of myself because, like I said, I'm still trying to get into it. Okay. But I like the part where Martell has said, and let me make sure that I get his words. Now, I don't know if his words verbatim of what he said. So let me see if I can go ahead and quote it the way that he said it. Okay. And I like the part. Let me see. He said that to Maurice. He said, "You a lawyer, because we already know that what Maurice was trying to do. Maurice was trying to deflect from all the stuff that him and his brother do. But I think that when it comes to Maurice, I think Maurice is kind of tired of covering up most of the stuff that he's doing. He's covering up for his brothers, even though he may have been out there as well. But he's covering up a lot when it comes to Marcel because he also had told Marcel, and I'm gonna watch it again, but he also had told Marcel, in so many words that you have to take accountability. So you can't just keep pushing it. Oh, when it comes to Martell crazy, Martell, he's just talking, from the side of his mouth. You can't keep saying all that because, like I said, whatever you done in the dark is going to come into the light. And like I said, I ride hard when it comes to the Scots, but I also stand on my truth. I'm gonna call it like it is, even though, like I said, when it comes to that show, I am kind of, sides with Tisha. You might sit there and say bias, but I am real talk. I'm gonna call it out, just like if it was my child. If Tisha was my child, I'm gonna call her out. I love you, but if I see something that I don't like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call you out. But I had a feeling that that's what Martell was saving. If the Scots would ever cross him, he wanted to come out and say it, but he just didn't know how to come out. Because people will look at, your marriage is trash, your marriage is gone. So now what you're trying to do, you're trying to interfere in somebody else's marriage. Do you want other people to go through what you have been through? I understand, what he's thinking about. And but you keep putting your mouth on me. So, I'm going to fight fire with fire. But that's still not in Martell's heart to tear down the family. So I truly believe that what he was doing, he was just trying to hold back as much as he can. And like I said, when it comes to this particular show, Love and Marriage in Huntsville, I am team right. I stand on my truth. Okay. My truth may not be your truth, but somewhere lies the truth. But when it comes to all this right here, I strongly believe that he held this in, and it was like a boiling pot. He was just waiting to come out, But the thing about it, when it comes to Marcel, not too much of Maurice, because Maurice is more of the peacemaker, because he's not going to, try to put his business out because they all got so much to lose. But when it comes to Marcel is a type of person that, oh, I could tell Tisha, whatever I want to tell her, and don't question me, and that's it. So we already know how Marcel is when it comes to his family. But when it comes to Maurice, not Tisha, Kimmy is not gonna play it like that. Because you can see, Kimmy, she just playing along, but you can see that Kimmy is ready to let it all out as well, because she's favoring more of the things that Martell is saying, especially, how she was saying, that he was the type of person, when he see some type of altercation or whatever, what's going on, he wants to pray about it, especially when it comes to his children. He was a good father figure when it comes to his children. Kimmy had said, in so many words, she had said that. Okay, I'm gonna get it together, guys. Like I said, I'm just getting back into the show. Okay, I was waiting for this day, and this is what I'm seeing right now. I was waiting for this day. I called forth it, and trust me, I'm starting to see it right now. So, we talking about, oh, when it comes to this show, Love and Marriage in Huntsville, oh, that it was going to be boring, the ratings was going to be down. Like I said, it just came on. I truly believe you're going to see things that's, what we've been thinking about and talking about for a very, very long time, that you're going to see it play out. Hey, country girl, thank you for coming in. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me real good. Let me know if my mic is a little too loud, because it sounds like my mic is too loud. Country Girl Queena says, good evening, unapologetic real talk and truth tellers. So, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. And like I said, in here, all this right here, to me, is for entertainment purpose only, even though that we all can take a piece out of all this right here. Let me know if my mic is too loud, because I went ahead and adjust the mic, because I'm also on TikTok, and they be saying that, oh, you can't hear it. But I did a playback when I was on YouTube. It sounds like it was so loud. So let me go ahead and read the copyright disclaimer. It's under Section 107, which I'm not going to play no clips. Maybe next week I might start playing some clips, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to get very, very interesting, and the rating's going to be real, real high. Okay. So my copyright disclaimer is under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, teaching, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. So again, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit like, comment, and share these videos for more unapologetic content. Thank you very much. And let me know if I'm too loud, if I'm screaming in your face. Let me know, okay, in your ears, because I don't want to scream too loud. But you guys know, all this right here, what you're seeing playing out, I called it. I called all this right here out, okay? So getting back to what I was talking about, like Martell said, Martell told Maurice, he pulled it all out on the table. Even Maurice was kind of shocked, because Maurice was saying, trying to detour, trying to change the conversation, as if, Martell just sitting and making all this up, and that's the thing about it, is people always try to, when they know you have fallen, you have slipped, you have done something that was wrong, it's no forgiveness. It's no forgiveness, like it's no return. Where anytime when you say something, they always gonna say, oh, that person is what that person used to do. It's no change. But Martell is letting you know, look, hey, I'm not gonna let you guys keep making me out as if I'm a villain, as if I'm the bad guy, and you guys are walking around squeaky clean, and you guys are one of the biggest what's in Huntsville. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Martell is thinking about. And like I say, guys, I'm team right. I stand on my truth. But Martell, he called Martell called Maurice out. Call this hand. Look, I'm calling your hand right now. All this, what I'm saying right now, bringing in this stripper, and putting her on the platform. If you saying that what I'm saying is wrong, then you sue me. That's what he said. He said, you a lawyer, so you sue us, sue me. Say that means sue me and Ariane. What person is going to say you are attorney, so whatever I'm saying wrong, if I'm lying on you, brother, then you sue me. And after that, you didn't hear him say anything, because he couldn't wiggle his way out of that. And I see why when it comes to Maurice. Maurice was the top of his class, because he's very, very smart. Just like Maurice has said at the reunion, he was saying the reason why he held his head down when Carlos King was talking to Martell is because anything that you say can be used against you. Because when it comes to Martell is very emotional. So, he could say anything that could be used against him. And I'm pretty sure when it comes to these bloggers, especially the ones that hate him, they'll make sure that get right there on the judge desk, right there to Melody's attorneys. Because, like I said, he, damn if you do and damn if you don't. But you can't keep playing this man as he's crazy. So Now what they are doing, and I promise you guys, you're going to come back and you're going to tell me. They going back to season one. I was going back and forth with some people on another platform, talking about, let the past be the past, which is true. Let the past be the past. Because it does not make no sense just because your marriage is messed up, then you want to mess somebody else's marriage. But I do understand now, and I'm not backpedaling because I'm unapologetic in real talk. But I stand for correction. I'm not God. So just because I go by unapologetic real talk, that does not mean that I got it all together, okay? That don't mean that, hey, I don't stand for corrections, because I do stand for correction, okay? But what I'm saying right here, they're going to have to go way back, because you remember in the car, which I was the one that brought that out, but I see people talking about it now, you know, when it was talking about the car scene when Tisha was crying, or when her and her husband was, talking, because people was putting some pictures out, saying some things, which we already know. We gonna debunk the part when it comes to Marcel, had a child, because you remember when those bloggers was running around saying that Marcel had a child, which I don't believe that's true, but I don't know. But what was suspicious about it is that Tisha couldn't have a child, or maybe Tisha could have had a child. I don't know. I don't know if Tisha went ahead and got a tubes tied. But the thing about it is that why he didn't go and tell his wife that, I'm going to get a vasectomy, And the thing about it is why Maurice went ahead and got a vasectomy. You see? Because I don't think that Kimmy could have had any more children. So all they was doing, and this is my opinion, all this right here to me is for entertainment purpose only. I'm talking about what's going in on a reality show. I don't go and snoop into these people' personal business, If they air it out, it's free game. So you cannot get mad. But the thing about it is that those two brothers, they went and they got a vasectomy. And we already know when it came to Tisha, I don't know, if they talked about it, which most likely they went ahead and they talked about it. But when it comes to the show, it was like she was clueless, like she didn't know what was going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, she was not for it, of him getting a vasectomy, but he wanted to get a vasectomy. Maybe because, they had said that, it was a child, that the woman was going to come out and say that Marcel had a child. So, or, most likely he probably went ahead and took a DNA, and found out that the child wasn't his. So he probably said that and say, well, I skipped this bullet. So, I might as well go ahead and go and get a vasectomy. So Tisha and Marcel was in a car and she was crying because she was crying because all the stuff that these bloggers was putting out. And those bloggers are very vicious, they are very mean, because most of them was Melanites. So she was crying, and the reason why she was crying because of all the stuff that was going on. And it was saying that um Maurice was at a hotel, not Maurice, Marcel was at a hotel with another woman, they had pictures of the back and stuff like that, But we already know when it comes to Marcel he can play it out with Tisha, and they'll just continue just going about, they regular day business. But when it comes to the bloggers was not letting up on that. So I truly believe that all that happened in season one is all going to come out. And this is how I see it. That's when that stripper at the time, the one that they had on the platform, I'm talking about Martell and Ariane, had this stripper that was on their platform. I think that's the time when she was in, the Scott brothers and Martell's life. I think that's when that time. I think that's part that's going to come up. I think she's going to say that she was the one. But the thing about it is that, and I might be all over the place, guys, because like I said, hey, I wasn't watching that much, okay? And then when I was watching it, I think I was watching it this morning, okay? But I'm aware of what I'm talking about because I promise you, you could take it to the bank, okay? So don't miss me. Oh, she don't know what she's talking about. Because when I talk about it, when I speak it, trust me, it comes in fruition, okay? So when it comes to Martell was telling Maurice, I was there. We was all there. Marcel had booked a flight for this woman that I had on my platform. I was interviewing me and Ariane. Marcel had booked her a flight to the hotel where we were. You see? But they playing Martell as if Martell is crazy. Martell said I was right there. I could have gotten into action as well, but I didn't want her. So I understand why Martell is angry. I understand why, he's pretty much upset because you guys pushing all this stuff on me, bringing out all my business, but I can't say not one word. So I think that his last straw was when Tisha went on Call is King and called him out. So when Tisha called him out and said that, he had some gay tendencies, I think right there, that was my last straw. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to let it all out. I'm not going to hold back on anything, okay? Hey, Christella, how are you doing? Happy Blessed Sunday, guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Thank you very much. This right here is a spare of the moment. So I'm just talking about love and marriage in Huntsville, guys. Really, I'm talking about all the stuff that's going on with Martell and the Scotts. Okay, the Scotts. That's who I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not talking too much about Nell Fletcher, whatever happened to them, blah blah blah. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about this elephant that was in the room. Okay, so when I say something, you could take it to the bank. Okay. And I truly believe that Martell, what's going to happen is just like you see my thumbnail. I truly believe when Ariane come on, she got pictures. Like I said, we are in what I call the ninth universal year where everything that is hidden will be revealed. And that's why Martell said, you either tell my story, let me tell the story, my real life, whatever he said, or you just go ahead and you fire me. That's exactly what Martell said. Christella says, I do believe they all have cheated. Absolutely. But they make Martell as the face of the serial cheater, But Martell was sitting there saying, hey, I wasn't doing none of this, until I met the Scott brothers. But I think the reason why, and like I said, hey, I ride hard, for who I ride hard with, but I stand on my truth. But I think the reason why, when it comes to Tisha, she's not going to give in on all this, which I wouldn't either, because, like I said, it's much bigger than me and my husband. We leave in legacies to my children's children, but still evolve. That's the nature of the beast. You come in on a reality show. I understand when it comes to families are sacred, but also I understand when you come in on a reality show, your life is for everybody to pick it apart. Your life is for everybody to pick it apart, and that's real life. I mean, that's real talk. So I can't say, I'm going to have to not talk about this because I might be like Martell. I might as well just shut it down because if I can't talk about this. But I truly believe Tisha knows all about all this right here. And I truly believe that they went and they got a consulate because they know that all this stuff was coming out. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be many more going to come out. Many more. Because what you do in the dark is going to come out to the light, okay? Christella says the Scott women will not leave their spouse, and Martell is telling the truth. Absolutely. And just like Kimmy knows the truth. Kimmy knows exactly what's going on. Kimmy knows what's going on. Tisha might be blinded to it, but Kimmy knows. You can look in Kimmy's face and you can see that Kimmy knows exactly what's going on. And that's why you always see Kimmy always defended. It's like she's defending Martell and also Ariane, because there was on some talk show host had called Ariane a mistress or a side chick, and she said Ariane is not a side chick. No, Ariane was not a side chick, because like I said, just like I told you, they all was all in it together. Sister wives. Melanie, when she feel like she wanted to leave, she leave. And I truly believe, and this is my opinion, she really trusted Ariane with her children, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have never left unless she didn't care. Because a woman that's after my husband, she couldn't get near my children. And for Ariane to be in those kids' life the way that she's in, trust me, it had to been something more to what they put out. And that's the reason why I think when it came to Melody wanted out of it, because they all was in on it together. Okay. That's how I see it. And you know, when I see something, you can take it to the bank. Okay. Christella said, yes, I believe she does. You know, but the thing about it is that much is given, much is required. You have to be careful. You out there and you putting your life on display, you know, on a reality show, and knowing when it comes to reality show how it's stereotyped and how it's so hard when it comes to marriages. No marriages can stand a reality show. And the reason why, because you got trauma bonding people, you got people from all walks of life picking apart your life. And the best investigators are trolls, because they're going to dig it up. What's ever out there, they're going to find it. And I'm pretty sure now that when it comes to Tisha and her husband, the ball is in their hands, the mantle is in their lap. Oh, they're going to pick it apart. That's why I said you got to be careful what you ask for, because much is given, much is required, and the cost is severe. And I'm pretty sure they're going to pick it apart, because most of them, like I say, they looking for the downfall. And especially, it's something about this particular show, Love and Marriages in Huntsville. They are very hard when it comes to these people. They are all involved in these people's personal life. They are very involved when it comes to these people's life. So I truly believe that now, you know, I hope Tisha is very, very strong to handle what's coming for her. I want to see Miss Wanda, I want to see Miss Wanda on that show. And the reason why I want to see Miss Wanda on that show, because she's going to need the support. She's definitely going to be needing the support, because look at Marcel. Marcel was telling Tisha, you know, in so many words, you got to watch Destiny. You know, don't hang too much around Destiny. And see, those type of men, I already know, because I've been in a marriage for almost 40 years, okay? At least close to it. I got married very, very young. So when you get married very, very young, and I mean very, very young, when my mom had to sign for it, that's how young I had got married. And these older men, what they do is they think that, you know, they can sit there and control and manipulate you. So I know all the games that he's playing, especially when it comes to these Southern men. So when he told Tisha, watch Destiny, because Destiny is friends with Martell, that's what these men do. They don't want you with no friends, because they know anybody that's close to someone that can, you know, expose them, they'll try to keep you away from them. I need to find that part where Marcel was telling Tisha to watch out for Destiny, because Destiny and Martell is very good friends. and Martell is going to tell Destiny some things, and Destiny going to tell Tisha, and Tisha gonna confront her husband, and then they gonna have problems in the house. But I don't want you to hang with Destiny because I don't want my business to come out. But like I said, your business is gonna come out. So they'll tell you don't hang with women. They don't want you, especially these narcissists. They don't want you to hang with women, especially when they are controlling. You see? Okay, country girl said, I'm still here just listening in while multitasking. Okay. But you see how it is? So that's why he told Tisha, to cut, pretty much cut Destiny off. That's what they don't want you with no friends. They don't want you with no friends because they are out there and they don't want their business to get out. Okay. So that's exactly what that's all about. Okay. So, like I said, when you're on the reality shows, these people, they gonna pick you apart. I promise you. And I want to see Miss Wanda. I've been praying for Miss Wanda. I want Miss Wanda on that show. I called for it that Miss Wanda come on that show because I think that when it comes to Miss Wanda had got a raw deal because of how Miss Buddy went and tried to take out two birds with one stone, calling Miss Wanda's food nasty and all this other stuff. Didn't give her a chance. Made up some lies, talking about Miss Wanda was bringing the business on the show. Found out they was doing the same thing that they accused Miss Wanda. So Miss Wanda got the right to be on that show. But Tisha gonna need that support. Tisha definitely gonna need that support. Because I'm pretty sure, honey, these bloggers, they are sitting on Reddit. And now they hate it. Listen to this. Let me tell you this. They hated Martell and they despised Ariane. But I promise you, they're going to believe everything that comes out of Martell and Ariane's mouth. Watch and see. And most of them going to be the millimeters. When Martell say something about Melody, oh, Martell ain't nothing but a liar. Martell couldn't tell the truth if it come smack him in his face. But when he started talking about all the stuff that's going on with the Scots, they gonna take every word as Bible. They gonna believe everything. Mark my words. They gonna believe everything. And I'm pretty sure if they keep poking the bear, Martell gonna let it all out. But what they gonna do is, Martell is not that type of person. Martell is not that type of person. But Ariane is. Ariane is the tsunami. You remember I've been calling forth that tsunami for years. I told you once that tsunami come through that door, remember I used to tell you that? 1, 2, Freddie coming for you. You see, Melody, she ran because she don't want it to come her way because she got to save face with her fans and her brand. So she don't want Ariane to let it all out on her. So hey, I'm finna get out, just like Ariane said. What did Ariane say? Once the tables start turning, oh, you run. But now, okay, I got some more. Ariane said they say, hey, I'm coming for some more. She's coming for the Scots. I promise you. And those millimeters gonna lift her up. They're gonna lift her up because they're all about tearing down. Mark my words. Remember, you heard it from Unapologetic Real Talk, the one that's in the corner, in the way boondocks. But you listening, you watching, and I promise you, you're gonna come back and tell it to me because everything that I say, you can take it to the bank. Okay. Christella says, when you find someone like Marcel always pointing fingers, beware. They are, bear watching. Yep. They are watching. Absolutely. Because when you pointing a finger at somebody, you got 4 pointing back at you. That's why Maurice was telling Martell, you need to take accountability. And it's not his word verbatim, but you got to take some accountability to the stuff that you are doing. Your stuff is coming out, bro. Your stuff is coming out. And whether Tisha believe it or not, that's on her. Tisha and Marcel got a lot to lose. But the thing about it, they always go to the bottom of the barrel and pick out these chicken heads. Never get somebody better than the one that they have at home, because they always think that the grass is green on the other side, as if they'd never get caught. But just like I had told you guys, yeah, men do cheat. But you have to be men that cheat is not gonna put their life on a reality show. They're not gonna come on a reality show. That's stupid, That's stupid. Because I'm pretty sure, honey, they gonna come out. They're gonna come out by the they gonna come out. They gonna come out. These women gonna come out. I promise you. Especially when it comes to the Scotts brothers. Look at those stories that Maurice went ahead and made up as if Martell was gonna bite all that. Look, dude, I was with you guys when you guys was running this muck on your wives. I was with you guys. So you want to say that, Kimmy dropped you off at your office. You saw an animal. Yeah, you was with an animal, right? You was with a wild bull. Yeah, or a linebacker. Yeah, right. Even Martell had to laugh. But you can see that, he still, he respect them. He have love for them. But he's not going to continue allowing you guys to keep trashing his name and tell me, oh, it's entertainment. You getting paid for it. These bloggers, these people that's watching this show, these fans don't look at this as a reality show. They take it personal because half of them don't want to go outside. Like I always used to say, touch grass. They are so involved when it comes to these people's personal life. So they're going to pull it out. They're going to find it. Even if they got to continue making up stuff. But I'm pretty sure when it comes to Tisha and Marcel, I hope that they will be able to stand this tsunami that is coming their way. Because it's going to be a big tsunami. And they're really going to come because they see the things that you guys are doing. Is every time when you do good, every time when you're doing good, you think that these devils out there wants to see you blessed? No. They're always going to have someone on assignment to tear you down. But like I said, the devil could only come in if you allow him to come in. Let me say it again. The devil cannot come in unless you allow him to come in. The only ones, and I've been saying this for a long, long time. Go and watch my videos, guys. I've been saying it for a very, very long time. The devil can only come in if you open the door and let him in. So you can go out there and you can blame Dottie, Squatty, or anybody. But you also have to blame yourself. Because they cannot do anything but what you allowed them to do. No more excuses. Not in this season. No more excuses. And you cannot say, oh, it was a mistake. No, you just got caught. You just got caught. That's exactly how I look at it. You got caught. And now you on this reality show in the hot seat. And they're going to ride you, honey, like a wild horse. And I just hope that when it comes to Miss Wanda will be there for that support. Because, honey, they're going to really try to shake you off of that high horse. Now, maybe Marcel might can ride it a little bit. But when he starts seeing how they coming for his family, that's going to be a hard blow. But like I said, much is given, much is required. Okay. Christella says that's when the enemy attacks all the time. Every time when you get to a certain level, when they start seeing a blessing, You gonna see that them devils right there. Long as you still at the bottom, scraping at the bottom with them, but when they start seeing you soaring above them, even an inch above them, a foot ahead of them, they dare to sit there and try to snatch you back. And that's real talk. Simply Susan says Martell is unhinged, and he wait, let me read it again. I don't have my glasses. Martell is unhinged, and we can't pick and use when you want to believe him. But that's what I said simply. That's what I said simply. I said that anything that comes out of Martell's mouth, these people was calling him a liar, especially when it deals with Melody. But I promise you, I'm gonna show you exactly how these fair weather fans are. And Melody knows they fair weather too because she already told them, you watch that show, and I'm gonna say allegedly, it's not a word verbatim, but don't come and tell me anything about it. And if you're watching it, pretty much, hey, you're not my supporter, you're not no loyal supporters to me. But these people ain't loyal. These people ain't loyal to themselves. It's all about almighty dollars and clicks. See, that's why I don't get too many in here. Because see, I stand on my truth. But simply, watch and see. Those same ones that call Martell a liar, they're going to be lifting him up. Him and Ariane. Mark my word. When I call it, my sister, when unapologetic call it, you can take it to the bank. They may not like Martell yesterday, but when they start seeing Martell and Ariane giving them the fix, because the fix, because they addicts when it comes to tearing down, oh my God, they're gonna be raising up and saying, Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna. Oh, they're gonna love him. They're gonna put him up as high as they put Melody. They're gonna put Martell up there as well because they love drama. Watch and see. Oh my God. When Martell and Ariane start telling the Scots business, they're going to love it to death. It's going to be like a high because they are addicts when it comes to gossip and tearing down and making somebody's life miserable. That's why I sit there and say, when it comes to Love and Marriage in Huntsville, when it comes to these reality shows, not just Love and Marriage in Huntsville, these reality shows, you have to have some very, very tough skin. Not too many people can come out intact. Only a couple people, especially I'm talking about black ensemble reality shows casts. Only one couple that I know of black that came out of these reality shows, and that was Candy Boris and her husband Ty Tucker. Candy Boris and Ty Tucker. They were the only ones that came out intact. Not too many will come out of these reality shows and still have their marriage intact. They saw growth, they saw prosperity, they saw favor when it came to Tisha and her husband, and they're going after that. Mark my words, they're going after that. And you might think that, oh, my marriage is strong to sustain. We've been through all this right here. Oh, they're going to come out with some stuff. Oh, yeah, you in the hot seat now, girl. And like I said, much is given, much is required. So, guys, on that note, you all be blessed. Enjoy your day. I'm finna go and get me some rest. And I wasn't planning on coming on. Guys, y'all got to show me some support. Y'all got to show me some love. I'm not going to dummy myself down because, hey, I know when real talk, unapologetic, come on and she's speaking, like I said, you can take it to the bank, and that's real talk. My girl Christella says most of the bloggers like drama, absolutely, and they are fighting gaming themselves. They Never see anything positive. Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I sit there and say, "Oh, honey, they gonna be Team Martell and Team Ariane if they go after the Scots." Let Ariane sit there and come out with them pictures because she says she got some pictures of them linebackers, honey. They got pictures, and I'm pretty sure she took some pictures. I'm pretty sure she took some pictures, and it probably could have been plotted. Because I don't put. It's something about you guys. I'm a. I don't care what you guys say. When I say something, you could take it to the bank. You could close me out, country girl, because I mean, but I wouldn't put it past Ariane, and this is just my opinion. Ariane, Martell, and Melody said it all. It's something. I ain't gonna say that. I wouldn't put them past. They got some pictures on the Scots. They got some evidence on the Scots. I think Ariane, she got her pictures. I think she even said something like that. I see it all a minute together. So I just, especially when Marcel and Tisha got the business and still wearing that hard hat called Scout, when we already know Scout was in the beginning belongs to the Holts and the Scots. And Tisha had said when she had got that business, it was in the red. All that right there, that's still, with some bad blood, all that bad blood. And I'm pretty sure that something is just brewing just to come out and you could take it to the bank. So, guys, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. My girl, country girl, says, another great live, unapologetic real talk. Everyone enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay prayed up, and God bless you all. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming in. She said I'm gonna rewind it from the beginning. Thank you guys. Thank you for supporting. Okay. So if I could get them numbers up, at first I said, hey, it don't really bother me because I like to come on and I like to talk, even if I have two or three, and that is true. But also when it comes to YouTube, they don't want to see those numbers in the red, and my numbers are in the red. Okay, so if you like truth tellers, and we already know when it comes to truth tellers don't get a lot of followers. They don't get a lot of people to come on board because nobody wants to hear the truth. Everybody wants to hear a lie. But if you want to hear the truth unedited and uncut, support this channel. Go and share it. Okay, go and share it. And I promise you guys, I call it as I see it. I don't make up no clickbaits or anything. And one thing about me, I am unapologetic, non-biased. I'm gonna call it like I see it. Even if I like a person, I'm still gonna call it. And that's real talk. So, guys, on that note, you all be blessed. Thank you, Christella. Thank you, guys. My girl, country girl. Thank you for coming in. Also, who else? Shako Black. Thank you for coming in. And if I miss anyone, guys, Simply Susan, guys, thank you guys for coming in. And you all have a blessed day. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself ready for bed, clean up my little kitchen, and watch Lifetime. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So, guys, on that note, you all be blessed.